Can you hear me? Okay, great. All right, so I'm Victoria Wasike, and my company provides an export readiness training for SUSTA. I wanted to come on and just talk to you a little bit about what the training provides and how we can help you as you begin to export your products abroad. And so this is a brief presentation about how we can assist you. Once again, my company, we're called Golden Crest Global, and it's myself. And then I also have a consultant, our colleague that works with me. Her name is Trish Souza. And if you sign up for the program, I actually give the instruction, and then Trish does all the care and handling of the company. She'll make sure that you have the notices, the Zoom invites, and everything else. So if you sign up for the training, you'll get to know myself and Trish very well. But I want to kind of give you an overview of the training. We have one coming up, and you can sign up for an export readiness training. You'll know all about it by the end of this. But the training includes 3 sessions. And so that is 4 modules, and they're all 4 hours each. So if you give me 3 mornings of your time, you will know almost everything you need to know about exporting from start to finish, and have a roadmap for you to go ahead and get started if you're new to exporting. 3 mornings is all it takes, 4 hours for those mornings. We have one scheduled for SUSTA coming up for March 4th, March 18th, and April 1st. So those are the dates we have scheduled. And so I want you to go and check your calendar. I believe those are all Fridays. And so we will provide the training. It's usually from 8 to 12 Central and 9 to 1, actually, if you're in Eastern time. And then once you finish the training, we give you a wonderful certificate. Usually our participants are so proud of that certificate because they learned so much and they went through the training, and usually we provide it via email, and then we also send you a hard copy in the mail. So what do you cover? What are you going to learn through export readiness training? You're going to learn a whole lot. So this is our curriculum. And we first start with the first module. That's that first morning, right? Just give me 3 mornings, you'll know everything. So the first morning, we tell you how to develop an export plan, give you all the tools you need to classify your products for export. A lot of you have different products, so they'll have different numbers, HS codes, Schedule B codes. We actually teach you how to do it. So we'll show you how to go on the website, how to search for your product, how to write down your code and use it. And you're going to use it a lot, right? For a lot of your forms and to find and research about your markets. We provide so much information about researching for markets. As Missy said, you kind of want to have a roadmap to know where your products would be the strongest, which markets you're targeting before you get started. And we provide a lot of tools. We show you exactly how to go on different websites, sponsored by the government, sponsored by the USDA, so that you can actually be prepared to know your top markets. And then also, of course, if there's a market or something coming up with SUSTA, you can learn how to research that market ahead of time. And then we also provide you information about export assistance and service providers. What is provided by SUSTA? What's provided by the USDA? What's provided, and how you can go ahead and tap into quite a few resources. So this is the first module, that first morning, getting you ready to develop your export readiness skills. The second morning, if you give us that second morning, we give you the nuts and bolts. We teach you the tools of the trade. And so we tell you about free trade agreements, the tariffs, and how that's important, how you can research which free trade agreement might be more relevant to your product and your markets. We tell you about foreign import requirements. Every single country has their own requirements, every single one. And so if you're looking at Indonesia, you're looking at Malaysia, you're looking at Argentina, it doesn't matter. We teach you the process to find out what you'll need to do to transform your product, to update your product, to get the requisite forms and licenses and everything you need to get your product into the country. The next thing we talk about is pricing and the product for export markets, because once again, you probably already know this, but you'll have different pricing from domestic to international. And then each market will likely have different pricing. So we give you some tools to go ahead and price your product appropriately for different markets. The next thing we talk about is finding your buyers and partners. We help you to understand how you can find your distributors, your approach. Do you want to do indirect selling, direct selling? And so we kind of talk about how you can find buyers and partners on the ground. And then we talk about Incoterms because you are going to get a pro forma invoice, which is what we use, of course, for exporting. And it's going to have terms of sale, those Incoterms, and you have to know what they mean, right? What does it mean when you have FOB? What does it mean when you have all the other terms in there, Ex Works? What does that mean? What is your responsibility? What's your liability? And so we have some companies that say, I've exported for so long and we never really understood why we use this Incoterm. And that's scary because you should know, right? And so if you give me that second morning, you'll get all this information, which is very, very valuable. The last thing, once you have your buyer and your partners, once you have that pro forma invoice and you've made that sale, now you have to get your product, of course, abroad, right? So that's the last module. And if you go ahead and sign up and you give me that third morning, you will know all about getting your products to your global customer, how to navigate shipping, logistics, how to look at the foreign export regulations, export licenses, information about that, export documentation. And then we have a thorough course, or a section or topic for this course about export financing. Let's say the company says, I want a letter of credit. Let's say the company says, I want to pay in advance, or I don't want to pay in advance, foreign exchange rate. And then we also will have information about different financing options, Ex-Im Bank, SBA, and just great information for you to understand how you can get your products abroad. So this training is comprehensive. Like I said, if you have 3 mornings, 4 hours each, you will definitely feel a lot more prepared to export your product abroad. Very quickly, this email's already gone out. We're already taking registrations right now. And so if you want to register, you just go ahead and email Missy or Danielle, or respond to whatever email that you were contacted through SUSTA and say, sign me up. And so we have that available. And then once you sign up, we'll send you this easy questionnaire so we can gauge kind of where you're at. And then we can go ahead, and sometimes we'll try to tailor our training a little bit to the companies that we have involved. I want to make sure that I stress it is an interactive training. It's not boring at all, trust me. And so this is just a sample of the type of training that we provide. So it's interactive. You're able to talk and you're able to ask questions the whole time. And what is very special is we also invite seasoned exporters to join us. So when we're talking about finding your markets, we have a tried and true investor or exporter who has done this before, and they tell you all the dirty stuff, like this happened to me, don't do this, and they really save you a lot of headache. And then they also can answer all of your questions. We also have industry experts, and they come on normally during the third session, that last day. And so we usually have a freight forwarder that comes on. And usually if you have questions for that freight forwarder afterwards, you can go ahead and reach out to that freight forwarder and follow up with your questions. So you really understand how to reserve your space, on a ship, and how to reserve your space on a plane, and however you're going to ship your product abroad, and how you work with customs brokers and all that great stuff. And then we also have usually an international banker that joins us. And they explained all about financing and letters of credit and all that great information. One more thing, let's say you see those dates and you're like, man, I can make it to 2 sessions, but I can't make it to 1. We do have video recording. So if you miss 1 session, then you can always make up that session, look at the video, and then you can still go ahead and complete the course on time with your fellow participants. So we try to be flexible. We know you guys are busy, and life gets in the way. And so even if you say, well, I can't make all of those sessions, but I can make 2, and then, we'll go ahead and make sure you get that video recording so you can catch up. With every session, we give you a wonderful handout. And this is honestly one of the most usable things because yes, we cover a lot, right? We cover a whole bunch in those 4 hours, those 3 mornings, but you need to also have something that you can remember all the stuff by. And so we provide you with this wonderful handout. This is just an example of, and it has links in there. So all the links that I went to during the session, you can kind of go to the links, and it gives you instructions and give you the information that we went over in class. So that's very helpful. And then you have homework to do along the way. That's just to make sure that you're kind of utilizing the information, you really understand it. So Finally, once you're done, you get an export readiness certificate. You're very proud of it. Like I said, so many people, they say that they display it. They're very happy because they completed the course. Now, we've had one group that's just finished our export readiness training. And so we have some positive feedback I thought I'll share with you. One company said Golden Crest Global presented comprehensive training on export products to the global market. The training was top notch and professional, and we were honored to be a part of it and better for the knowledge you gained. Another of our companies said, after this training, I now feel equipped with the knowledge and language of exporting. Importantly, I feel like I'm more confident going into potential export markets. And that's really what we want. We want to build your confidence. If you have an opportunity in South Africa, we don't want you to say, oh, I don't know what to do. We want you to say, I know exactly what to do. I know where to go. I have the tools to get my product into the country I desire. Now, who should participate? Now, if you are new to exporting, then you should definitely sign up because there are a lot of things you need to know. If you have new hires, this is very important because we've had a lot of shifts going on and in the workplace. Sometimes I hear companies say, well, I hired someone, but they exported bicycles. Well, exporting bicycles is definitely different from exporting agriculture products with all the requirements and export, licenses and all that kind of stuff and export permits. And so you definitely want to make sure that if you have a new hire on your company and you feel like they need to go ahead and just have some general knowledge about exporting, then sign them up. Anyone in your company. If you want to train existing employees, let's say, you don't want to be burdened in a nice way with exporting all by yourself. You want to go and have the marketing person and get trained in exporting. You want to go and have the shipping person get trained in exporting, or just maybe your daughter of your family-owned business, just so you can spread the opportunity around and the knowledge in your company. Sign up your company, and so we can go ahead and train your existing employees too. And finally, sometimes we hear from companies, we have members of various departments. So the marketing, team might be very good for session 1. And then, the team that handles the shipments might be very good for session 3. We can be flexible because we sign up your company truthfully, right? And so if that's the case, if you want to go ahead and you want to be more flexible and you say, I would love for my company to sign up, but I want this person to attend this one and this person to attend this one, and I'll attend the second one, whatever is useful. Our goal is that you are empowered to export and export in a way that is beneficial to your company. And finally, if you're on this call, then you are perfect. You should sign up. So finally, what are we trying to achieve with this export readiness training is to have educated exporters. Okay. And we want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of all that SUSTA has to offer, but be prepared before. Right. And so this is a great opportunity. So we have upcoming classes. So make sure that you contact SUSTA to register today. And that's my whole presentation. So